Hello, everyone. When I said I wasn't going to do it, I'm going to do it anyways, so I can have this out of the way. And most likely, when I do 77 all the way to 90 or 95, it's going to be a bit of a rehash, but it's okay because it's going to be so spaced out that you guys are not going to even care. Anyways, so episode 78, they had to deal with the first ever Yokai Watch fiasco. The fact of, you remember Steve Jobs, right? I mean, Steve Jaws, right? So, in the movie that we saw, and it was in between episode 40 or so, in the movie, we find out it was Kenta's grandfather who created Yokai Watch, not Steve Jaws. But all of a sudden, they never brought that up. They never actually showed the original Yokai Watch that Nate slash Kenta actually got from his grandfather when he came back from the past. So they never actually mentioned it and he never actually showed it, which is kind of sad. There's a messed up continuity there. It really is. But anyways, so now is a fiasco of where they're like actually trying to figure out, did he actually steal the idea from Kenta's grandpa or what? So we're gonna find out someday of what happens. We're gonna find out some days. Like I said in the previous video, you have the U prototype watch, which makes all the other two watches obsolete and also can evolve. So that's going to be something interesting to watch. Is get it watch is the freaking watch actually evolve, which that's going to be weird, but hey, if the watch can evolve, that means they'll make even more toy watches, which means more money for them. Actually, if you think about it, it's like, yeah, if you think about it, like I said previously, they have to make a watch with all electronics. It depends on if they actually put the watch with all electronics and make the metal not even, yeah, metal just have like a pin that it presses on the watch. But if they actually make the metal actually the electronic part, then that means that only the metals will be different. So I guess technically, if they were smart, they'll make the first watch where it pokes one certain pin, and then when they do season two, the pin is on some other side. Like, let's say the pin was on the top part in the season one or the first one, and then when they get Type Zero, they put the pin on the left side. So it's like, yep, that would be kind of cool to do. Yeah, so this third one will actually have two pins where it's like if the pin is up there, it'll press it. If the pin is on the left, it'll press it. So it's like that would be something cool that they could actually do. And now actually save them without having to be like, well, we got to put electronics, a lot of electronics into this toy, which is like, oh God, I really. Well, anyways, like I said in episode 78, there was no showing of Grandpa's watch because he finally got the U prototype due to the bat over there. And the bat keeps the two other watches, not the there's three watches in all, but he doesn't have the grandpa's yokai watch for some reason, which is weird. That's continuity error there. So yeah, the bat's gonna keep those two watches safe. And now we got the idea of American metals, aka I would say call it Merrick metals. Mueric. If you're going to translate it, make it like that. So it's not going to be like American metals because that's what technically they were trying to say is American metals. But if you make it Merrick metals, that sounds cool. That's okay. So yeah, you got American metals. Okay, so the Yokai Watch is a bit real and it has real kids with issues and such. That's just one thing I needed to say because there's some where it's like cringeworthy to watch. And I would say pointing all my fingers on Fumi-chan on this whole kind of crap. Because yes, it's easy to point at the freaking main character and say he's going goo goo gaga over her. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It's like, no, you are doing this. You're doing this, Fumi-chan. You are doing this. Oh boy. Anyways, so we also got Kawaii Light Zone, which is technically the Twilight Zone. And there was two that I saw so far that dealt with it. The first one was the dentist. And then the second one is 80 in the dark. which I forgot what 80 in the Dark was, but yeah, you had those two. And you got a new Komasan series. And Komasan actually visited a lot of places. He visited a big electronics store because his mom has been writing to him. And note, when you're watching this, notice the fact that the mom actually changes up the way she sends letters. She sends it normally. She sends it by text message. She actually does it by archery. She sends a bird, a carrier pigeon, and a few other things. But anyways, he visits the big electronics store and they make it like Street Fighter. So he actually got to have a mini vac for free. Actually a vacuum robot for free, even though he didn't get it for free. It's just that the guy was just clueless on what he was saying and he lost the item. He most likely had to pay for it out of his paycheck though. Ooh, that sucks. Next is a ramen shop. Yeah, that was crazy. The ramen shop is a crazy episode. If you see that one, that is just so crazy. It makes the guy that actually was the... Whoa, one guy looked stupid in that episode. Next one is the sports club. Oh my gosh, the sports club is really, really messed up. I mean, it's fun to watch, but it's like the trainer, the coach, oh my gosh, he suffers from this. He suffers. And after a long pause, because yeah, it was starting good, and then there was a big few episodes later, 79, where we finally get a continuation. You got a massage parlor, and sad for the guy is he's trying to make Komasan feel relaxed, but sadly Komasan doesn't have anywhere in his body where he got tension. So that was kind of a sad thing, and the guy actually put himself to sleep. Last but not least is ceramics class, where he actually goes to a ceramic class and the professor, or whatever you want to call him, looks like a total novice because Komasan was a freaking artist. He made a big fat castle out of clay. That's like, you just have to watch it for yourself. It's just wow. Of course, I do have to mention like two other things. Yeah, two other things, and then one other thing, and then one other thing, and then we're good. Even though I should mention this one, I might. First things first is episode 79 does have one that most likely will be censored or banned. And this one is the last one, where you have three boys who are totally naked. They're not showing anything. Yeah, they're not showing anything. Not showing his wing wang or anything. Not showing their butts. But they are technically totally naked, and I'm not sure if, and apparently Disney XDs has this, so I have to mention that. Not sure if Disney XDs actually is going to be cool enough to actually say, I'll let it slide, even though they do it in the movies. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I had to do a gut punch. I'm sorry, Disney, but I'm not going to pull away my punches. I'm giving you a good punch in the freaking gut. So, not sure if this one actually will be censored even more or banned. I'm not sure. Then we got episode 83. The first one is just too hard to watch because of Fumi-chan. It's like, yeah, that's just too hard to watch. All because of her. All because of her. It's just too hard to watch. Technically, it's all because of a yokai, but it's still too hard to watch. My gosh, it's too hard to watch. And then, one more thing before we go to the last point is Komasan now has a taxi. No way. Yeah, so Komasan actually now has a taxi, and we actually get to have, before my thing cut off, we have like two entries in the taxi. It's kind of like a reforming taxi. That's what they called it, reformation. A restoration taxi. It's kind of like Taxi Confessions or Taxi, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, first we got Jaminkin. And Jaminkin, they dig into why he was on the decline, why he wasn't in more episodes like he used to be. So the first things first was the eroticness. Yeah, the fact that the clay scene, I mentioned that. The clay scene, that was crazy. And lots of people were like, well, it was one parent who was like, yeah, the clay scene, he was too erotic because of that clay scene. And that was just one of many things that they were talking about. One of the examples. Next is the teddy bear mutilation. And this was written in by the mom. The mom said her kids cried after they saw the teddy bear he threw into the gears, ripped to shreds by the gears. And yeah, I guess that will make lots of kids cry. That was messed up. Oh boy. Oh, it erased my second one. That's crap. Yeah, so the second one that I was talking about, which I remember it. Stupid laptop, I remember what I wrote. Next one was from Robo Meow. And what happened was just the fact of, like I thought, there was... Oh, actually, first things first was the fact of they said he was too violent because of Rocket Punch. And he said, well, kids will emulate that. And it's like, wait a minute. How can kids actually emulate getting their fist to fly off their arm? So they say he's a little bit too violent. The next part is exactly what I figured and most likely would have been a banned episode. I don't know what Disney's going to do. I have no idea, but this is going to banned episode where you have Robo Meow getting freaking scratched in a certain spot and it looks very, very erotic and explicit. So, not only that, but the funny part about this is that they even get the guy who did it to him. And it's like, holy frick. And he's like, I'm telling my side of the story. It's like, it's your fault. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So, oh man. I can't wait to see another one of those. Last but not least is also episode 84. For many times, they've been referencing the Terminator. Because what does Robo Meow always say? I'll be back. So, this is a big Terminator reference. Chiba Meow's touching spot in second birth. What? Oh, that's the second one. Alright, the first thing is the Terminator reference. What happens is there was a mosquito yokai. And mosquito yokai finds out that there's going to be a horrible war between mosquitoes and humans. And the humans eradicating... Yeah, so humans are the bad guys in this one. And it's up to this lady, who's named Sarah, to actually make sure her child, John, gets born. And there is someone who they sent back in the past to kill him. And Robo Meow is the person that was sent back in the past by John to protect his mom, Sarah. If you don't see the freaking Terminator reference here, I think I have to come over there and hit you in the head. No offense though, I'm not going to hit you in the head, but still, if you don't see the Terminator reference, may God help you. Last but not least is Chiba Meow's touching spot, and second time burned by Kenta and Hana Hojin. And touching spot. I forgot. It's like, yeah, I forgot, but this is the second time he was burned. The first time he was burned, if you guys don't remember, was when he had Meow KB's, one of Meow KB's singers actually talking to him, and she was about to give him a kiss, but he's been, yeah, touching spot. Oh, I get it. Oh man, I feel stupid. The touching spot is that he finds a little kitty cat who is lost. And he decides to help find where he lives. And he does that by getting hit by a truck so many times while the kitty is on his back. So what they do is use that to their advantage to fly high in the sky and try to pinpoint where he lives from there. But finally, and when he got hit the last time, he made it to where he said that there was a wonderful smell near his house. And it turns out it was a bakery, and they found the freaking house. They found his house. The owner is very, very happy, and it was very, very touching. And Chiba Meow fought for the first time to not get summoned, and he did it. He refused. He didn't get in there. And then the second time he got second time he was transported when he didn't see it coming. And he's been transported, and Hana Hojin yet again is right there making Nate/Kenta pick his nose. And this is where I put in my side note. Side note is when Jigglypuff in the first series, Jigglypuff was like the Pokemon where Misty wanted to catch, but it's gone. It was always disappearing. this is where their Jigglypuff comes from. I mean, this is Yokai's version of Jigglypuff is Hamahojin, where you have freaking Kenta / Nate never actually obtaining him, never actually getting a medal from him, and stopping him from making people pick their noses. So yeah, I mean, good lord, when will he catch him? I may never know. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This was a somewhat sum up of 78 through 84, but this is not official, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyways. Thank you for watching and have a great day.